tuning into the Black on Fire Radio, and you're listening to the African Diary Show with Kachi. Massive.
And Weezy on the beat.
Take a one, take a two, then I let you go. You can tell me that's what you wanna know. Everywhere I go, you wanna sing my song. And a bad man, and they go pretty do. They guys love me, that's what you wanna know. Everywhere I go, they wanna sing my song. Man, a bad man, and they go pretty do. They go pretty do. All of them know that I'm the baddest boy. Yes, we clap back, man, so we give them up. The big boy, pull up with the illest song, so we give them good vibes, things till they drop. Oh, they wanna sing my song. Some of them full step when we show them low. Team Zima, who's got the keys to my dinner? Who am I? Tell me, girl, them sugar cane money, fresh money, no time for the money. Say the girls, them a love me, boys, them a know me. You can't run me race, but sit down and watch me. It's a napkin, that is what they call me. Call me. They guys love me, that's what you man I know. Anyway, I go, they wanna sing my song. And a bad man, and they go fit it, you know. They guys love me, that's what you man I know. Everywhere I go, they wanna sing my song. Man, a bad man, and they go fit it, you know. They go fit it, dup. If you have this Rico, I'm a doctor. If I take this technician, I'm a soldier. Nigga, and then they my chicken come. Oh, Cinderella, mama, Cinderella, mama. Oh, Cinderella, Cinderella, girl, they put the bam. She be my trap when I be a king kong. And I'm much of a lolly, she be my ding dong. When I do the body flexing, she put the boom. She do me bad, is a rat for the titans. I jump skip out, what she walk is a tight man. When I see the God is a real miss, bam. You guys don't be that social man I know. Anyway, I go, they wanna sing my song. And a bad man and they go feel it. They guys don't be that social man I know. Everywhere I go, they wanna sing my song. Man, a bad man and they go feel it. They go feel it.
Greetings and Danny Robinson, all the way in Switzerland, and you're tuning into the Black on Fire Radio, and you're listening to the African Diary Show with Kachi.
You are daddy, me one for the me, go do you can me. Oh my God, you the more than me. I go do you bad to tell you are daddy, me one for the me, go do you can me. My funds are the realest thing, no matter what they want, getting me racing. And I don't get it right, but I keep pressing. One by one, I let you counting this is. Bad mind wanna plan a win. White House up there, you can't do your way.
Yes, so what's up, beautiful people? How are you doing? Karibuni sana to another episode of the African Diary Show. I hope you're doing great. I hope this Wednesday is finding you at great health and at peace as well. Karibuni sana once again, and I hope you are enjoying your day so far. I see K. Williams in the building, Jiba Java, Unsung one, and to the rest of the silent listeners. Karibuni sana manze. I hope your day is coming along great. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you are feeling happy like me. I feel so happy. My stomach is back to normal. Manze Fuchs. Yesterday, from Sunday to today, or to yesterday in the afternoon, at night, I was feeling terrible. My stomach has been has not been very good, but anyway, right now I feel so good, and I'm very grateful for all that. But Karibuni sana, how are you doing? Get to interact with me, and do remember, we are live and interactive on our media handles. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere at Black Hot Fire Network. Jiba Jaba, Karibu sana. I see you're all happy by the anyway, Ansan Kenon, you're saying, damn, that's a highly provocative thumbnail pic. Deuces to the dollars. Manze, RIP to the dollar. And also, I see K. Williams is saying, peace, Katie, good job with that picture. Did you do that? No, I didn't do that. It wasn't me. But anyway, yes, Karibuni Sana, I did that, of course, and RIP to the dollar. But anyway, it is RIP to the dollar, but what are we welcoming? That is now the question for Africans. What are we welcoming? But at the end of the day, it is just very sad with Africans because we always are willing to take what the Europeans are bringing onto us. But anyway, on today's episode, we shall be talking about UK being criticized for lack of understanding of the Wagner's activities in Africa. Yesterday, I talked about some countries, or rather some politicians, some officials in Mali being sanctioned because of the Wagner's operation in Mali. Right now, we have the Wagner's finding their influence in Africa. We have seen the Russians, they are fighting for influence in Africa. It is crazy how Africans were welcoming them to our land. So we shall be discussing about the Wagner's future in Africa, because I feel like, yes, it is flourishing, but in what form? That is the question we need to ask ourselves. Yes, Wagner's future in Africa is flourishing, but in what form? What are we going to gain from all this? Because you have to look at now the effects, the advantages, and be sure there is no advantage of Wagner group operating in Africa, but it has a future in Africa. I'm highly saying this future, but in what form? Yes, the future is flourishing, but in what form? Yes, kindly do let me know what you think about that before we get to the main focus of the day. And also, I see we shall be talking about what Joby mentioned. She didn't highly talk on it. And this is about Ghana, our Ghanaian parliament abolishing the death penalty. And I don't take this as a positive thing because it will highly promote crime in our countries, just like Kenya. Right now, it is okay for you to kill and you can escape that. It is just crazy. So we shall get to that as well, and later we shall get even to so many other matters as we continue with our show for today. And it is just crazy. I also have something to talk about, and I really wanted to share the video Joby shared, but I'm glad she did, because I don't think I have that much of the time to share that video of PLO Lumumba. He was talking about something I talked about yesterday, and this is something I really keep on saying. Yes, slavery has never ended. Slavery has never ended in Africa. Right now, we are talking about modern day slavery. They keep on changing different forms, or rather, they keep on coming up with the different types of slavery. But slavery has never really ended in Africa. So we shall be discussing different topics on today's episode. And I don't have a video for you today. So, General Mosquito, from wherever you are, you man who doesn't know what Boshori is, and you come criticize me, and I taught you that name. Yes, today you're not going to video out. I see K. Williams is saying, glad you're better. Stay away from Joby's cooking. It will put you in the hospital. Man, I love my stomach. I'll stay away from it. But at all costs, I'll stay away from it at all costs. But anyway, we shall go back to one more jump. I'll be back with a quote of the day. In case you have a quote of the day, please make sure you share with us. We're going back to one more jump. Feel free to interact with me. Do remember, we are live and interactive on every platform. In case you're there on Facebook, in case you're there with me on YouTube, in case you're there with me on Twitter, you can as well post your comment on the chat room. Kindly get to interact with me. This is a fee. The jam is Siwezani. You take me for granted, baby. You don't love me no more. Unaniisha watu, unanichokesha, unaniumiza. And she drops it down and you like it when she comes around. Just tryna Instagram you wear me unataka. And she puts it up and I hit the thing and you walk around and I make it big. I'm not the kind of girl I think that you should know that. I cannot breathe. I see kid, you're asking if it is cold. Yes, when I was coming out of the house, it was very cold, but right now it's a big. The sun is coming out. I cannot My quote of the day says that just one small positive dot in the morning can change your whole day. Just one small positive dot in the morning can change your whole day, and this is for a fact. It's not enough for you when you just want the view. But I still love you. So tell me what I should do right now. Should I pop it down like it's when she comes around? Tryna Instagram your baby on that top, and she puts it down, keep it in. Yes, welcome back to the African Diary Show. I hope so far you're getting to enjoy our show for today. Here we are at 69.8 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 21 degrees Celsius. And it is not that cold. It is not actually cold, but in the morning it was very cold. We were maybe at 17 degrees Celsius, and I couldn't ride a motorbike without my beanie on. But anyway, yes, karibuni sana. I see Jiva Jaba is saying slavery lives on the federal reserves. Okay. Yes, I really wanted to share that video, but I said I'm glad Joby did, because I didn't have that much time, because we are about to talk about so many things. And in Tunisia, people have started being killed. This is something we've talked about, and right now there were 5 bodies were discovered, and this is after Tunisians were paid by the European Union to keep African migrants away from Europe. So what is happening is that the bodies of 5 sub-Saharan Africans have been discovered by Libyan authorities in a militarized buffer zone between the country's border with Tunisia. The discovery comes after weeks of mass expulsions of Black Africans by the Tunisian government. The policy followed the violent clashes between migrants and residents in Tunisia's second city of Sfax, a main departure point for people trying to cross the Mediterranean illegally to Europe. Rights group says hundreds of Black Africans, some of whom have legal status in Tunisia, were bused to the remote desert buffer zone and abandoned without food or water. This is just crazy. And I told you, Africans, you better stay in your countries. You better stay in your countries. This is after we know that now Tunisians have received money from the Europeans to keep you away from Europe, but you still want to go to Europe. Yes, we will keep on hearing mass graves, mass bodies all the time if Africans were not willing to stick in our countries. And it is not even a week. It is not even a week. We talked about this. It was last week we were talking about this, and we said that Tunisians have received money to keep you away from Europe. Right now, we have bodies already being discovered. So, and I think there are not only 5 bodies. There are not only 5 bodies. I believe there are so many bodies, but Africans, just learn to stay in your countries, because now we will keep on reporting mass graves, mass bodies being discovered all the time. What is this? Why can't you just stay in your country? If you want to die, die in your country, because this is just insanely crazy. But as we continue, do let me know what you think about that. I told Africans, just stay in your country. If you want to go to Europe, please make sure you have all the documents you need to go there. But remember, wherever you're going, you're not loved, you're not even welcome. So if you're going to experience racism, that's on you, because we've been warning you. If you're going to experience hostility, that's on you. We warned you. We told you, wherever you're going, you're not welcomed. Wherever you're going, they don't love you. So if you don't want to stay in your countries, you better go there and face hostility. And I believe it's better to die in your own country. It's better to die in your own country. That's my thought anyway. Anyway, I don't want anybody to die. But now, if you want to die, just die in your country. Away from that, I don't want to talk about that story again, because it is really sad that we keep on repeating the same thing days after days. We keep on warning Africans from going to continents where they are not loved, from going away from their homes where they are not even appreciated and welcomed. But you'll see them still going there. So it is something that we keep on repeating day after day after day after the other. So it is just crazy with Africans, how they even don't want to listen. When you're the one speaking facts, you are the one now, you are the mad one here. It is always like that with the Africans. But keep on letting me know what you think about that. But as we continue, remember, I told you, what I'm saying right now is the future of the Wagner Group in Africa is flourishing. Yes, this is what I feel, and this is what I think, and this is what I'm saying. But what form do you think that the future of Wagner Group is flourishing in Africa? What form? What form of future do they have in Africa? Do you think these people are going to colonize us? Do you think that now they are going to overtake Africa and they will be controlling Africa? What form of the future do you think they have in Africa? Because I've seen a country like Mali has allowed these people fully to work with them. Not only Mali, but we shall be seeing the Wagner Group extending their stay, and also now even getting to other different African countries day by day, extending their operations in different African countries. So this is what I'm talking about, and I feel like now they have a future in Africa. But which future? What form of future do you think they have in Africa? And we are the ones giving them this authority and the power to make sure that they feel like they have a future in Africa. And this is now very sad, because we are letting them control our resources. And if we're talking about future flourishing in Africa, this means that they will fully control our countries. They will fully control every mineral we have in Africa. They will fully control every resource we have in Africa. Is this what we want as Africans? Is this what Malians are in for? I think so, because they welcomed them. They are working with them right now. But don't forget, we have the Chinese. Don't forget, we have the Russians. This is now the Wagner Group. We also have the Europeans. We have the British, But they are under the same boss. But right now, you'd ask yourself why they are fighting for influence in Africa with the different names. It is because they want it to look like it is not the same person, but at the end of the day, this is the same person looking for power in Africa, looking for ways to colonize Africa the second way. But they are the same people. Keep on answering me what you think about the matter, because we shall get back to that. And that will be our main focus, together with what I've written on the or rather, together with now the UK being criticized for lack of understanding the Wagner's activities in Africa. And you'd ask yourself, why are these two people fighting while they are under the same boss? It is just crazy how they come and try to look like they are different people to us, but at the same time, these are the same people. Let me know what you think about the matter, and also keep on letting me know what form of future do you think that the Wagner Group has in Africa? Because I feel like they are trying to become our second colonizers. That is what I think, but you can let me know what form of future do you think that the Wagner Group has in Africa as we get on to this different story about Ghana. And this is about Ghanaian parliament voting to abolish the death penalty. Yes, Joby highlighted on this. She didn't talk much about it, but also remember, the moment we get to abolish this death penalty, this is how we're giving criminals a second chance. This is how we're giving criminals a second chance. Yes, we have so many African countries that abolished the death penalty years ago. A country like Kenya. Look at Kenya right now. We have people killing people, but they cannot be put on death penalty. We have this Mackenzie, Pastor Mackenzie. He is responsible for more than 400 lives, but still he cannot be put on death penalty. What is this? I feel like if you are a murderer, you deserve to be murdered the same way you killed a person. I don't go with this abolishment of a death penalty. I don't go with it. Because if you're proven guilty and you are guilty for a fact like they have proved that you're guilty, you need to face the death penalty. Some crimes are not worth second chances. You cannot be a killer and we tell you that you deserve a second chance. No, you don't. You deserve to die. Because we've seen so many people killing each other. We've seen so many people responsible of so many lives, but they cannot be subjected to death penalty. Why is this? If you take somebody's life, yours deserves to be taken away from you. I know we are not the life givers, but yours deserve to be taken from you. Because what makes you think that you can take somebody's life without consequences? You know, it is crazy how we fill these prisons with murderers and killers just because we abolished the death penalty. I believe these people needs to be hanged in front of everyone. Yes, there are some crimes that don't deserve to be charged with a death penalty, but some crimes are worth death penalty. If you killed, you are supposed to be killed, and you're supposed first to be subjected into, like, you're supposed to be like mistreated in a way. You're supposed to be made to suffer so that you know what you did was not right. Even if you die, what you did was not right. And now when you reincarnate, you'll reincarnate knowing that killing a person is not right. It is just crazy with how Africans, we have normalized now abolishing the death penalty, and we feel like now it is not something good because we call ourselves religious nations. This is insane. It is insane. Enough of this madness of saying that we are religious nations so we cannot subject people to death penalty. What if these people are responsible of so many deaths? A person like Pastor Mackenzie, this person was supposed to be hanged long time ago in front of everyone. This person has killed innocent children, women and men, more than 400 lives, but you still cannot subject this person to death penalty because you are a religious nation. That is insane, and that is madness. But Ghana's parliament on Tuesday voted to abolish the death penalty, making the country the latest of several African nations that have moved to repeal capital punishment in recent years. I go with the capital punishment all day, any day, because there's some crimes you cannot even forgive. There's some crimes you cannot even Imagine, hey, it is just crazy anyway. No one has been executed in Ghana since 1993. Although 176 people were on death row as of last year, according to the Ghanaian prison services. According to a parliamentary committee report, the new bill will amend the state's criminal offences act to substitute life imprisonment for the death penalty. Now, you're going to fill the prisons because you are imprisoned for life. And remember, we also have the president sometimes when these prisons are too overcrowded. We have the presidents coming and saying that now we are going to free a few prisoners because the prisons are crowded and we need space for other prisoners. And now this is a killer. You let them walk scot-free. This is just insane. I'd go with this death penalty because if you killed, you don't need to be pitied. You don't deserve to be pitied. You don't deserve pity. You don't deserve it. But President Nana Akufo-Addo still has to assent for the law to take effect. This is a great advancement of the human rights record of Ghana, said Francis Xavier Sosu, the parliamentarian who tabled the bill. This is just crazy. Now you're calling this human rights. If you are killing, you didn't know that person you killed had their own rights to live. But right now, you as a killer, somebody is fighting for your rights as a killer and saying that you have human rights. That is just insane because I'm not agreeing with this. If you killed, you deserve to die. Yes, without even a second thought. You deserve to die. You deserve to be hanged. But I say we have conducted research from the constitutional review of two opinion polls, and they all show that the majority of Ghanaians want the death penalty removed. He told Reuters. And Ghana is the 29th country to abolish the death penalty in Africa and the 124th globally. According to the Death Penalty Project, a London-based NGO that said it worked alongside partners in Ghana to help change the law. Equatorial Guinea, Sierra Leone, Central African Republic, Zambia are amongst the latest African states to have ended the capital punishment in the last 2 years. Reporting by Maxwell Alcaraz, Adombola, and Christian Akorire, written by Nelly. Okay, those were the reporters of the news. And I feel like this is just insane. If you killed, you deserve to die. Yes, even if it is one life, you deserve to die, no matter what. No, there's no way you can give a murderer a second chance. There's no way you can give a killer a second chance. These people deserve to die. Just like they killed those lives, they deserve to die. And I'm not with this nonsense of abolishing capital punishment. You need to pay. You have to pay for the consequences. And now you should be hanged in front of everyone so that you could feel the shame and guilt and die while you are feeling guilty, because that is madness. It is madness. And this is why I feel like now abolishing this is why we have so many people killing, so many people with guns, feeling like they can use their guns anyhowly, because they know the only thing that would happen to them, they might be imprisoned. Not life imprisonment. Some might be imprisoned for some years and then they are let to walk free. And this is why we have so many criminals. This is why we have so many assassins in our countries. This is why we have so many murderers in our country. But I keep on saying this, and I will never stop saying this. If you killed, you're supposed to be killed. If you killed, you are supposed to be dying, just like the way you killed. People are talking about human rights. You don't think about the person you killed. You don't think about the person who died. That person didn't have a human right. They didn't have their rights. But right now you're talking about the penalty, associating it with now being not good for the human rights. The murderers have rights now, while the victims didn't have the rights. It is insane. That is insane. And those are some laws that are very crazy. And some laws are very crazy because they keep on saying that the largest population wants it to be abolished. Did they ask me? I was never asked. So they keep on saying the majority. I was never asked. I don't know anybody who was asked about it. Yes, if you asked me, I would say, don't abolish that. These people deserve to die, just like they killed. Pastor Mackenzie, he's responsible for more than 400 lives, but he's still in prison. He is still in prison. In these prisons, they are fed. Even if it is nasty food, they are still being fed. We still have people who goes there to visit them. And these people are murderers, responsible for more than 400 lives. And then you say that we want to abolish this capital punishment. That is madness. It is madness. I know this bill is going to pass in Ghana. In Kenya, we abolished it long time ago. But I don't go with that nonsense. If you killed, you deserve to die. Remember that story I was telling you about this woman who found a rapist on top of her 2 years, was it 2 years or 3 years old daughter? And then now the village, this woman killed this man. The village has torched her house down just because she killed a man who was raping her 2-year-old daughter. And now they're talking about human rights. These even rights groups don't make sense to me. You're talking about human rights. This woman was fighting for the right of her child, and she killed this man. So you want to tell me that this child didn't have a right, but now this man who is very dead had the right to rape that child, that young child. It is insane. It is insane. Some laws are just stupid. Some laws, I even wonder which people they ask, because they keep on saying the majority of the country's population. They never ask us. They go to the parliament, present a bill, and by the time we are realizing it is already a law. So this is just insane. It is insane. But for me, I'd love that capital punishment to remain there. I don't want it abolished. I want it there because it will save us from a lot of madness. But I see K. Williams is saying those not good leaders have no love for their people, and that is how dumb they are. Once they do their people, they people in the going hey, you have a lot of they in your sentences. Anyway. And Kerry Williams is saying black people all around the world are catching hell. And also you're saying that's right, a life for a life. Very true, a life for a life. If you kill, I kill you. If you kill, you deserve to die as well. But also I see you're saying nobody wants to hear that religion nonsense. Those fake religion people are the worst. Very true. Very, very, very true. But I see Kid, you're saying, is in Saudi Arabia a religious nation, Katie? They are out there hanging people and cutting off heads. Yes, those people are Muslims. They are religious, but you never hear that madness over we are a religious nation. If we are on the wrong, you are on the wrong. If you killed, you deserve to die. If you did something that is against their law, you are hanged. Even if you're not a citizen in that country, you are hanged. Remember those 4 women I told you of those Kenyan women, they were hanged and their bodies were transported back to Kenya. It is crazy. It is crazy how now Africa wants to look like we are good, but we are fighting for the human rights. Which human rights? A person killed and then you want to talk about human rights? You're just insane. But I see Kay Williams is saying, Katie, did you say that that guy killed over 400 people? Of course, yes. That Shakahola guy, the Pastor Mackenzie, the one who was killing people and burying them in a forest in Malindi in Kenya, the coastal region. Yes, more than 400 lives. Those bodies that have been being exhumed all day, every day. Yes, he killed more than 400 people, but still he's not hanged to death. He's still put in prison where they feed him every day. But I see Jiba Jaba, you're saying in the US, capital punishment takes over 20 years and it is not fairly applied. Mostly black men. Yes, I know that. Most in the US, I even don't think that it applies. For you to be hanged, for you to be subjected to capital punishment, it will even take more than 30 years. And sometimes you might even bribe and get away with it, you know. But I see Kay Williams is saying that guy who killed over 400 people, who was did he work in the government? It was that guy, the pastor. You don't remember that story, and the way you are telling us you're fed up with that pastor all the time, hearing that pastor. It is that pastor from the coastal region, the one who was telling people to starve to die, to go and meet Jesus. I bet you remember him. If you don't, just let me know. I'll give you the story once again. But it was that pastor who was telling people to starve themselves so that they can die and go and meet Jesus in heaven. Yes. And I bet you remember the story. Kay Williams, you're making me now go back to that story. And there was a time you were telling us, I'm fed up with hearing this Pastor Mackenzie story all time. But right now you don't. You have a short memory. You have a poor memory, Kay Williams. But anyway, you're saying, okay, teacher, Katie, I think you need glasses. No, I'm not the one who need glasses. You need your dictionary, right, for you to be typing some English words, because you're putting a lot of they in a sentence. I can't understand what you're saying. But you're also saying, okay, now I remember him. Yes, it is that man. He's responsible for over 400 lives, but nobody has put him into capital punishment. Nobody. But this madness of Africans saying that I don't want this capital punishment. We have to abolish it. We are a religious nation. We can't be hanging people. That is madness. It is madness. These people deserve to die. A life for a life. If you killed, you deserve to die as well. And you deserve to suffer. I even think that we should introduce that electric chair. You see that electric chair? You die slowly. In pain. You suffer. And now regret all you did. But at the end of the day, you'll have to die. Because you can't be killing people just like slaughtering, just like a chicken. You go killing people, and then you know you can escape this because we don't have capital punishment in Africa. But I see Kay Williams is saying, listen, you can't go one day without starting trouble. I see. Did I start trouble? No. I didn't start trouble. You really need your dictionary. Much love, Kay Williams, But anyway, before we get to conclude that story, I was saying a life for a life, and I'm not happy with Ghana. I'm not happy with so many African countries that abolished that death penalty, because at the end of the day, we are promoting crime in the society. We are promoting, we are even entertaining criminals and murderers, because most of the time, these people who deserve this death penalties. They are always murderers. Yes, because there is no way you can subject a thief to death penalty. They are always murderers. So, in case you're there, and if they ever ask you, they keep on saying majority of the population, and they ever ask you about it, say no, you don't want that. You don't want that. But yes, moving on to other different matters. This is about, okay, before we continue, I see somebody is asking a question. Did the pastor get busted because someone, or if influence got taken by him? Okay, I don't get your question. Did the pastor get busted because someone of influence got taken by him? No, what happened is people started saying that their people are missing, like their relatives, their family members are missing, and then they would say that these people traveled, they joined some religion or some cult, and this cult was being practiced in Mombasa. And then now, when those people were being traced, their trace was found in that church, and that is how that church was discovered, and that is how Pastor Mackenzie was busted. And he had a forest where he would bury so many people. He had bought a forest, he had bought a big land, and then made it a forest, planted a lot of trees, and he would bury people, like in one grave he would bury like 10 people. So there was like, now a place where it's dug, you'll see the soil. So when now people started doing the investigations, they found so many graveyards, and that is how they discovered that the pastor has been telling people to starve. And there were also other people who were rescued in the church, and they narrated how they got into the cult, and how they the other people were dying. K Williams, wewe ndio una matatizo wewe ndo una matatizo wewe. But let's get to the main focus of the day. But as we continue, remember, you guys, I asked you a question. I told you, or I think the future of Russian Wagner Group in Africa is flourishing in Africa. But in what form? What form do you think that their future is flourishing in Africa? Because I feel like these people, they are trying to become our second colonizers, and we are allowing them. They are trying to make sure that they get in control of every resource we have in Africa. They have started with Mali, and right now the US, the UK is not happy with that, and we have seen so many officials from Mali being sanctioned. But do you think that right now the Wagner Group is trying to come and create a space for the Russians to become our second colonizers? Because I feel like this is what is happening. But yes, before we get to the main focus of the day, of which the main focus of the day is somehowly attached with what I'm about to talk about, and this is still about the Wagner Group. And about the question is, can Wagner survive in Africa without its leader? I don't want to read that name. I don't want to bite my tongue. And after the recent mutiny of his men in Russia, if the future of the Russian paramilitary company is up in the air, its demise seems inconceivable. A month after the brief march on Moscow by its men, then the declared exile of its charismatic leader in Belarus, the economic and geopolitical weight on the continent of the most famous private military company seems to protect it from being wiped off the map. Last week, in a video published by Telegram accounts claiming to be close to Wagner, which AFP could not authenticate, Prigozhin asked his troops to prepare for a new trip to Africa. Wagner offers a catalog of services to plan in difficulty. In Mali, in the Central African Republic, it protects the power in place, offers military training, even legal advice to rewrite the mining code or the constitution. Okay, we stop from there. Why are they helping us to rewrite the constitution? Why are they helping us to train our troops? Why are they giving legal advice about the mining code? Something is fishy again. These people are looking forward to make sure that they control everything in Africa. But they will start with Mali. They are in the Central African Republic, and soon they will get to other African countries. In return, the group engages in predation and pays itself from local resources, including gold mines, I told you, and other minerals. In Sudan, Wagner flourishes in the illegal gold businesses and remains close to the rapid support forces of the Mohammed Hamdani. I told you in Sudan, these people are supporting, and not actually the Wagner group. Can we just say Russia? Because they keep on saying that this is a mercenary group that is privately owned. But which country do they come from? Of course, even the Russian government won't come and say that, yes, we created the Wagner group. They won't come and tell us this, but we know this group belongs to Russia. You've heard how they pay themselves. They take gold mines, not even gold, they take gold mines and other mineral mines. Right now in Sudan, they are supporting the rapid support forces. And I told you this when the war started. Russia is supporting all this war that is in Sudan. Remember, there was this plane that was seen coming from Russia. It went to Sudan, it passed through Ethiopia and then went back to Sudan and brought weapons to the rapid support forces. In Libya, loyal to General Khalifa Haftar, a strong man in the east of the country, there are a few hundred today to ensure the security of military bases and oil-related infrastructure, assures AFP Pauline Bax, Deputy Director of the Africa Program at the International Crisis Group. You see what I'm telling you? This group is here to make sure that they steal your resources. This group is here to make sure that they are taking everything from you. But Africans, we're not seeing this. Malians, they're just welcoming these people and they don't understand these people are there for their resources. They are not there to make sure that they are trying to make sure your country is stable. No. You've heard, they are helping you, train your force, your troops. They will help you, even give you advices about your constitution, about mining codes. But how do they pay themselves? They take gold mines. Not even gold, they take the mines. They take other mineral depots. They take oil. But you won't see this. You won't see this. You just see these people as your helper. They are just coming here to help us fight our enemies. Well, those people are the enemies. Now you're fighting the unknown enemy with your enemy. It is just crazy. How are you going to catch a thief if the thief is the person you're using to catch the thief? You know, it doesn't even make sense. But I see K. Williams is saying, uwe na siku njema ya narudi kazini. Okay, good day to you too, K. Williams. Peace. And I see Jiba Jaba is saying, Russia doesn't promote the West debauchery like the rainbow and the transformers, so they will be looked upon favorably. Probably, but I see Kid, you're saying exactly 100% Katie. Why? Yes, so why? Why are they doing this for us? Because they know they are getting something in return. But I see Kivia saying, yes, Katie, Russia created them. Yes, of course, Russia created them, but they won't come and say, yes, we created them. They won't say that. They keep on arguing that it is a privately owned mercenary group. But who created them? Who funds the Wagner group? It is them. It is them. It is them. But there and elsewhere, the group is accused of manipulating opinions, undermining the reputation of Westerners, and influencing electoral processes. Its method on the military level is brutal and pays little attention to human rights and the distinction between civilians and the soldiers accuses the West. So right now they have a war between the West because the West are saying that these people are coming here to take advantage of Africans, while they are all here for a similar goal, a common goal. But right now they are afraid that these people are going to take more influence than we are doing, and they are going to get a huge percentage of the resources, of the minerals, of the mines than we are getting. The United States sanctioned Prigozhin and classified his group in January as a transitional criminal organization. An independent UN expert has accused the army and its Russian allies of abuses in the Central African Republic. And why are they still there? We have the UN accusing them of abuses, but we still have the UN in Central African Republic, and the Wagner is still operating there. So these people, propaganda. This is propaganda at its best. The European Union has announced new sanctions against several Wagner officials in the country. On Thursday, the UK imposed sanctions on 13 individuals and companies accused of involvement in Wagner abuses, including executions and torture in Mali and Central African Republic, and threats to peace and security in Sudan. It is crazy. It is crazy how Africans, we are so willing to welcome these people. We love them so much. And at the end of the day, they will end up stealing what we have. These people are just here for what we have. But now, let's see why the UK is being criticized for lack of understanding Wagner's activities in Africa, because I still also don't understand their operations and activities in Africa. But remember, the UK or the British, they are just afraid of, now these people are taking more influence than we thought. These are the same people. But the UK government has been sharply criticized by the Parliamentary Foreign Affairs Committee for underestimating the dangerous growth of Russia's Wagner mercenary group. In a scathing report, the cross-party committee of MPs accused the government of what it is called dismal lack of understanding of Wagner's activities in Africa. We are deeply concerned by the government's dismal lack of understanding of Wagner's hold beyond Europe, in particular their grip in African states, says the committee chair Alicia Keynes. Meaning what exactly? What does that mean? The report itemizes 7 states where Wagner's military activity has been detected. We have Ukraine, Syria, the Central African Republic, we have Sudan, we have Libya, Mozambique, and Mali. Wagner has developed a highly successful and profitable business model in these countries, enriching itself and its client rulers mostly at expense of the local population. So these people are just here to make sure that they enrich themselves. They steal your property, they steal your minerals, they leave you poor, and they remain rich. They even help you amend your constitutions by telling you what is right or wrong, and making sure that now the right thing favors them. The wrong thing does not favor them. So you have to do what favors them. It is just crazy. It is crazy with how now we don't see all this as African people while the resources are ours. And this is how we remain in poverty forever. The committee, which for the first time has commissioned open source investigative research for its 82-page report, assets that for 10 years the British government has underplayed and underestimated the Wagner network activities as well as the security implication for Europe. This topic has become all more relevant this week as somewhere between 3,000 to 10,000 Wagner mercenaries fighters have set up base in Belarus while rhetorically announcing their desire to make a cross-border raid in Poland, a NATO state. The FARC report has used evidence provided by a well-placed and senior Wagner source as a defector who revealed that his organization had boasted of teaching local police authorities in Central African Republic how to torture civilian captives. This is insane. So this police brutality is being brought by them. They are coming here to teach our police how to torture us. Police brutality is being brought by them. And remember, this is an assassin group, a mercenary group. What do mercenaries do? They kill. The Wagner group is accused of murdering hundreds of civilians in that country while helping to prop up the regime that pays their salaries. Mali is a prime example of a country where the Wagner group has successfully supplanted Western French-led forces while ingratiating itself with an autocratic government that recently seized power. Where the West moves out, Wagner moves in, seeing opportunity in suffering and profit in kills, says the report. But why do you think that this report is favoring the British, the US, the Europeans? Why? Because right now they want to look like they are fighting for influence in Africa, while we know they are dividing themselves on how to dominate Africa, on how to get all these resources we have in Africa, on how to get in control of all the resources we have in Africa. Don't you think this is crazy? It is. It is. I see Jibba Jabba is saying Wagner works outside of international law. Russian hands won't be dirty. Yes, of course, that is what they do. And they make sure that now, if you are going to accuse the Wagner group of anything, it's better be the Wagner group, not the Russians, because the Wagner group is a privately owned mercenary group. But I see Kid, you're saying exactly 100% Katie, and also you're saying plausible denial for Russia. Very true. Kid, you're saying because Russia has power and does not give a shit what the United Nations says. Very true. Israel trains the majority of police worldwide. That is the NYCPD has a station present in Israel. Yes, I do agree with you, but right now we have the Russians, the Wagner group training our soldiers how to torture us. It is just insane and crazy, but Africans, we are the ones giving them the authority to. We are the ones giving them the go ahead. It is crazy. It is crazy. But also remember that report I read. It was written in favor of the UK, in favor of the US. So you'd also want to know who wrote that report and why did they write it in that manner. Anyway, we are coming to the end of our show for today. Asanteni sana for keeping it the Black Hot Fire Network. Thank you to all those who joined me for today's episode. Please make sure as you leave, you smash the like button. Asanteni sana for keeping it interactive. Asante Kid, the Jiba Jabba, K. Williams in absence. And also Zoza Radio. We also have somebody like Ansan Kenwan, and to the rest of the silent listeners. Much love. Hope to see you later on the next episode of Tubonge, and I hope you get to enjoy the rest part of your day. I see Jibajaba, you're saying very informative program today. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed, and also you got informed on what is happening with the Russians, with the Africans, and with the Wagner group. Koherini, much love. Enjoy the rest part of the day.
Greetings and salutations, Matthew and Robin, all the way to Sudan. And you're tuning into the Black Hot Fire Radio, and you're listening to the African Diary Show with Kachi. Massive.
You take me for granted, oh baby. You don't love me no more. Fananisha na watu unanichokesha, unaniumiza. She winds up and she drops it down, and you like it when she comes out. Spanish like mama, you're wearing unataka. And she puts it up and I keep it in, and you walk around with her naked face. I'm the kind of girl I do that you should know that.